So, good day everyone. We are the Group 3 and today we're going to be talking about the Chapter 4 and 5 of the Republic Act 8371 or also known as the Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997. So, this law is aiming to protect the right and the territorial domain of every indigenous people, especially indigenous peoples community, enable for them to live freely and happily enjoy their rights as a human, just like us. We have the rights, and also the government provide an a law that protects their rights and especially their territorial domain. For we all know that indigenous peoples are prone to prejudice and many more types of racism. So sa pamamagitan ng batas ito, nagkakaroon ang mga indigenous people ng karapatan sa mga bagay-bagay, sa mga basic lives, basic key characteristics bilang isang individual. So ngayon pag-usapan natin ang chapter 4 at 5. Magsisimula tayo sa chapter 4 na i-discuss ng aking mga kasamahan.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. First, we're going to tackle the section 13 under Article 4 or the self-governance. So, what is self-governance? Self-governance, it is the ability of an individual or a group to govern itself. So, ang ating mga IPs or the ICCs groups ay may sarili silang pagpapatakbo at pamamahala sa kanilang lugar. May sarili silang kontrol sa kanilang mga tao, lupain, resources, and other related programs, regulations, policies that are independently to our states. And yan ay nire-respeto at ina-acknowledge ng ating states upang sa gayon sila ay malaya na mapursyo ang kanilang economic, cultural, and social development. So next, we have the section 14. It is also under the Article 4 of Republic Act 8371. Support for autonomous regions. So, autonomous regions. The word itself, it is an area of a country that has a degree of autonomy and has a freedom from an external authority. So, sila ay malaya at they are independently sa ating government. Ang mga autonomous regions sa ating bansa ay matatakbuhan in the Cordilleras and in Muslim Mindanao. So, ito ay patuloy na sinusuportahan ng ating states upang sa gayon ay patuloy na ma-ensure ang kanilang mga ancestral domains. Patuloy na ma-develop ang kanilang mga economy, patuloy na ma-promote at mapahalagan ang mga kanilang cultural heritage and establish a system of self-governance. At ang ating bansa ay patuloy na hinikayat at sinusuportahan ang mga iba pang lugar or group na hindi kasali sa Cordilleras or outside sa Cordilleras at Muslim Mindanao na gamitin ang sariling form and content sa pamamaraan ng kanilang pamumuhay.
Section 15, Justice System, Conflict Resolution Institution, and Peace-Building Processes. Sa section na ito, binibigyan ng karapatan ang mga indigenous cultural communities or indigenous peoples na gamitin ang kanilang sariling mga kinikilalang sistema ng katarungan, mga institusyon ng pagresolba ng alitan, mga proseso ng pangkapayapaan o iba pang kaugalian at batas na karaniwan sa kanilang komunidad. Ang mga ito ay dapat na maging tugma sa pambansang legal na sistema at sa mga kinikilalang karapatang pantao sa pandaigdig. Halimbawa, ang mga ICCs or IPs ay may karapatan na magpatupad ng kanilang mga sariling proseso at sistema ng katarungan sa loob ng kanilang komunidad na dapat sumusunod sa mga pangunahing prinsipyo ng katarungan at karapatang pantao. Section 16. Right to participate in decision making. Sa section na ito, binibigyan ng karapatan ang mga indigenous cultural communities or indigenous peoples na lubusan na makilahok kung nais nila sa lahat ng antas ng paggawa ng desisyon sa mga bagay na maaaring makaapekto sa kanilang mga karapatan, buhay at kapalaran sa pamamagitan ng mga proseso na kanilang itinakda pati na rin ang pagpapanatili at pagpapaunlad ng kanilang sariling katutubong istruktura ng pamamahala. Bilang resulta, ang mga estado ay dapat atiyakin na ang mga ICCs or IPs ay bibigyan ng mandatoryong representasyon sa mga ahensya ng paggawa ng patakaran at iba pang lokal na mga konseho ng batas. Halimbawa, ang mga ICC or IPs ay may karapatan na magkaroon ng partisipasyon sa paggawa ng mga desisyon na may kinalaman sa kanilang komunidad at pangangalagaan ng kanilang kultura at teritoryo. Ang estado ay may obligasyon na tiyakin na ang mga karapatan ng mga ICCs or IPs ay naipatupad at binibigyan ng tamang representasyon sa mga proseso ng paggawa ng patakaran.
Article 4, Right to Self-Governance and Empowerment, Section 17, Right to determine and decide priorities for development. Article 4, Section 17 of the Philippine Constitution grants indigenous cultural communities, ICCs, and indigenous peoples, IPs, the right to determine their own development priorities. This means they have the authority to decide what aspects of development are most important for their lives, beliefs, institutions, spiritual well-being, and the lands they own, occupy, or use. They also have the opportunity to participate in the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of policies, plans, and programs that directly affect them at the national, regional, and local levels. This provision recognizes and values their cultural identity and empowers them to have a say in decisions that impact their communities. And Section 18, Tribal Barangays. Article 4, Section 18 allows indigenous cultural communities and indigenous peoples who are not the majority population in their respective areas to form a separate barangays called tribal barangays. This provision recognizes their unique circumstances and grants them the right to establish local government units tailored to their cultural, social, and economic needs. Tribal barangays enables ICCs and IPs to exercise self-governance and preserve their cultural heritage within the framework of local governance. This provision empowers them to actively participate in decision-making process and contribute to the development of their communities.
Article 4, Section 19 or Role of People Organizations. Dito dapat kilalanin at igalang natin ang mga papel ng mga independent ICCs or IPs upang isulong at protektahan ang kanilang authority, interest at ang gusto nilang makamit sa pamamagitan ng mapayapa at legal na paraan. Article 4, Section 20 or Means of for Development or Empowerment of ICCs or IPs. Dito dapat itatag ng pamahalaan ang mga paraan para sa ganap na pag-unlad o pagpapalakas ng kanilang sariling institusyon, paniniwala at pagkabuhayan ng mga ICCs or IPs. At kung kinakailangan ay dapat ibigay nila ang mga resources na kanilang kakailanganin.
Article 5, Section 21, also known as Equal Protection and Non-Discrimination of ICs and IPs. Lahat po ng mga kabilang sa ICs or IPs natin, dapat sa batas na ito, nagpapatupad siya ng equal protection or non-discrimination sa mga IPs natin. Ibig sabihin nun, kung ano yung mga rights natin na hindi kabilang sa ICs and IPs, yung mga rights natin as normal citizens ng ating bansa, ganun din dapat yung mga rights and protection na nakukuha nila. Equal lang yung access natin sa lahat ng bagay. Example is yung education. Kung nakakapag-aral tayo ng normal, dapat ganun din sa kanila. And mas special, sa pagkakalam ko, mas special pa sa kanila or may special treatment din para sa kanila, kunwari sa mga scholarships. Makaka-avail sila ng mga scholarships na in-offer para sa mga ICs and IPs. And next is public places. Sa mga public places naman like hospitals, parks, schools, may same access. Kung ano yung access na meron tayo, ganun din yung access na meron sila. Opportunities and human rights and privileges. Yun, sa mga opportunities, kung ano yung nakukuha natin na opportunity, ganun din sa kanila. Equal lang yung rights natin sa kanila. Article 5, Section 22, Rights during armed conflict. Nakasaad dito sa statement na ito or sa article na ito na or sa section na ito ng Article 5 na hindi ang mga ICs and IPs natin ay may special protection during armed conflict and hindi din sila pwedeng i-recruit para tumulong or makipag or sumali sa giyera. And nakasaad din dito na yung hindi sila dapat fino-force na i-abandon yung mga lugar nila, yung mga bahay nila. Pero kung kunwari kailangan ng evacuation para sa kanilang protection or para sa kanilang ikabubuti, doon na pwede silang persahin or pwede silang sabihan ng mga armed forces natin na mag-evacuation for their safety.
In the pursuit of justice and equality, it is imperative that we recognize and uphold the rights of indigenous cultural communities and indigenous people, or ICCs, IPs, in the realm of employment. Section 23 of our legislation underscores the fundamental principle of non-discrimination in recruitment and employment practices, ensuring that ICCs, IPs have access to equal opportunities and fair treatment in the workplace. This includes provisions for medical and social assistance, occupational safety, and protection from sexual harassment. Section 24 of the Employment Act unequivocally condemns discrimination based on descent and mandates equal remuneration for equal work value. It is a testament to our commitment to fairness and inclusivity that ICCIP employees are entitled to the same rights and benefits as their counterparts without fear of reprisal or prejudice. Let us reaffirm our dedication to eradicating discriminatory practices and fostering an environment of dignity and respect for all workers, regardless of their cultural background.
Next is the section 25 of the chapter 5 of the Republic Act 8371, which is the IPRA law. So this particular section states that every indigenous people have the right to free access to basic services just like education, health, sanitation, access to water, and many more. So these things are provided by the law. Nang sa gayoy, magkaroon sila ng access sa pamamagitan nito ay mas magkakaroon sila ng convenience sa kanilang pamumuhay at sa kanilang pag-access sa programs na hinahatid ng government. So just like us, most of the citizens of the Republic of the Philippines is not member of indigenous people, in which some of them are sometimes neglected, in which in this particular law it is stated that they will be free to access to the basic programs of the government, so enable for them to participate in nation building, in which they can foster their community, so that when new generations come, they were able to maintain a healthy and a balanced living. So next, let's proceed to section 26. So in section 26, it talks about the women's. So the women's of the indigenous people are given the equal rights as like the men. So we all know that in the Philippines, mostly in some indigenous areas, during way back in the past, we all know that men rule, or we use the term hierarchy to describe that the power is vested on men in decision making, in particularly in leading a community. However, with that, women are given an opportunity to participate in decision making and given the equal rights as men to participate in the decision making of the community, and not just the community, but also women participated in the Senate, in the Congress, enable for them to express what are some of their projects and programs. With that, they were given the rights to participate in the decision making. So the state also recognized the role of women in nation building, in which it enables them to be empowered and to be the voice of those people who does not have voice, to defend themselves. So one of the key characteristics of this law is that it provides the equal rights of women just like men. So that's all about the Article 25 and 26 of the Republic Act 8371, or the IPRA law.
We all know that children has a huge role in our future. That's why we need to preserve, support, and give full rights they deserve to to be the next contributor of our economy and future generations. That's why it states in the Article 5 of Social Justice and Human Rights of IP's right in Section 27, Children and Youth. The state shall recognize the vital role of the children and youth of IPs in nation building and shall promote and protect their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social well-being. In this article or section, it focuses the well-being of our children and their rights to choose, to live, and to be a normal citizen. According to this, towards this end, the state shall support all government programs intended for the development and rearing of the children and youth of IPs for civic or efficiency and establish such mechanism as may be necessary for the protection of the rights of the indigenous children and youth. That's what I've said before. It focuses on the rights of every indigenous people children to be a normal citizen and treated equally in our society. Next, let's proceed to the section 28, Integrated System of Education. The state shall through the NCIP provide a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the needs of the children and young people of indigenous peoples. In this section, it focuses the right of every indigenous people children to assess or to have an quality education they deserve. That's why we all know that education is has a huge role in our life to achieve our dreams and to be successful. Yes, in indigenous people children, they deserve a quality education to be live in a society where they were not judged, discriminate, and spread the belongingness of everyone. That's all. Thank you.